Yo, what is going on?
What are we doing today? Retro finds today?
Nah. Ain't no retro finds today. Yo. We are doing catching up on the comic show. We've been on this. I mean, like, okay, it's been a minute since we did like some comic reviews, so we have a list of stuff.
I finally was actually able to catch up on my comics.
Yeah, so we wanted to go ahead and catch up on some great comics that we've been reading. Okay, you guys already have like your average like
Marvel,
DC, all the good ones, the variants and stuff like that. All right, that's cool. There's plenty of people out there that's definitely talking about those. But sometimes I like to read those indie comics or comic books that people don't really, get into and read. So we just go ahead and talk about it. So, Echo, let's start off. We don't want to take y'all too long, so we want to go ahead and
too much of your time.
Just a couple of comments we want to talk about.
We're going to give you a little rundown, a little bit, and just move on to the next. And hey, you just enough to make you might be interested in. So let's see. First one. Boom. Dead at 17.
Dead at 17.
Yeah. Now, I'm actually a big fan of zombies and all those other things, life-changing moments. I mean, you get bit by a squirrel and then you become a frog with, I don't know, like, with tentacles. So, this was actually, it's really Dead at 17. You get bit by a zombie and so forth, but that has nothing to do with zombies. I'm just letting you know. This is basically the same concept.
But you just dead at 17.
You dead at 17.
So you might be dead, but you come back alive at 17.
Basically.
And then live on that life as a zombie, which is basically most of us today anyway. That's what
happens when you
turn 17. That's you just turn into a zombie. That's how it is.
You get bit by adulting, you become. It
comes to the territory.
But all in all, this is basically you have two friends or whatever, and she doesn't realize that the friend, Nara's best friend, they're thinking she's telling her everything, but she finds out some secrets about her. At least to a journal. I'm not going to tell you. It's crazy what happens in her journal and just what goes on in her head. It's crazy. It's insane. And then there's a secret agency involved in it. And then it's a whole bunch of fish and frogs and everything.
Let me break down this whole analogy up in this. You know what I'm saying? Dead at 17, and then there's secrets. Yep,
there's
typical
secrets.
life of teenagers. All right, so that's
basically.
Now me, I'm a retro head, so I had to check this one out. So I was just like, yo, what was going on with this one? Boom, the Jetsons right here. But you know what? The worst part about it is I wanted to read the rest of the story, but I was only able to find one comic. This was actually pretty decent, and this is still like in the future, whatever. But what they did like a whole nother thing. It was crazy because Jane had a job, and she's like a president, and it's crazy. And how the kids are a little bit older and stuff like that, and it digs into a more serious adventure, but they still had a couple of wisecracks up in there, and I don't want to give out too much information but the Jetsons, I just felt that I just had to check this out because I used to watch the Jetsons back in the day. I know we all did. So at the same time, I just had to go ahead and just peep it out and stuff. So, I thought this was a really pretty cool comic. I mean, this was straight. This was straight. I just wish that I was able to find more. And if I am able to find more, let me know in the comments, and I even break the story down a little bit more. But I just wanted to just talk to y'all about that. Just let y'all know that there's a Jetsons comic out there. Yo, back to you.
Alright. DMZ on the ground. This was, can you imagine like another world war?
That's crazy.
That's basically what this is about. And this guy gets sent in. He has to do some journalism, whatever, and so forth in another in the city. Everything is going turmoil and everything else. And there's a city, and they have a bad rep basically, and it's not really like that at all. It's not. You don't see what goes behind the scenes, and it seems like every block there's certain rules. You don't know where where you're coming or going. You know who's against who. You don't know who's on what side who. And he runs a lot. The guy, he ends up getting stranded. And a whole lot of like craziness happens. And I don't want to give too much away. But the people he meets along the way and what the facts he finds out about the city that he goes into versus what people think is completely different. And it makes me want to figure out what goes on more, because I'm telling you right now, it has a lot of great action. It kept me reeled in with the story, and definitely this is book 1. I definitely want to look into book 2. And it's a really great adventure, and if you're into the war types,
there you have it.
There you go.
There you have
Flip it out.
Let's go to the next one.
Your turn.
Boom. All right, my last one right here. I thought that it was like, this is pretty cool. And when I found this one, I was able to find all the whole entire story, which was like kind of cool. This came out in like the early 90s, and I thought that there was like, this is like a cool story. It's called Master of Kung Fu.
That sounds like something you.
So
Is there a
yo,
cat in it?
nah, ain't no cats up in it. That's the whole crazy. But
No cats.
But the thing is, it really was like basically like, you know, how like family can go against each other, like the father going to the son, and the father trying to turn his son to like basically make him evil, and they was trying to have like a cult, and it's just like, and it basically it was like an underground syndicate that was going on, and then, you know what I'm saying, the feds was trying to get, you know what I'm saying, were trying to crack down on it. They was sending assassins up in there or undercover agents, but they was getting killed. But at the same time, the son came up in there, but he had kung fu, but he was still fighting himself, you know what I'm saying, trying to change his lifestyle, trying to try to be a better person, but they had to call him back up in there. You know what I'm saying? That's some of us. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get called back inside the situation. And you know that we don't be wanting to do stuff, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and then you know what I'm saying, then we have to, and it was worse, I felt bad because he had to go up against his pops, and that's just like, you know, that's not cool, because, you know what I'm saying, he didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give out too much of the story, but it was deep.
Though.
It was deep. I read all of them, and you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, his ex-girlfriend was basically with another dude that was one of his partners. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't cool too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
a whole bunch of like,
yeah. But at the same time, there was another life, and all of a sudden, like he ended up going somewhere, and she was in somewhere, so it just happened. But the fact is, though, she still cared about him. She still respected him. He respected her situation. It was cool. It was that. It wasn't that bad. I felt that this was like a pretty cool comic. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty adventurous, great action moves, great stuff going on, and it had the action to suspense. It had the drama and stuff like that. And it was good. What tripped me out is how the one of the guys, he kept calling the main character Chinaman. He didn't like that, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, man, would you stop calling me that? You know what I'm saying? They used to get in a little argument. But
is he from China?
Yeah. So at the same time, it's just, I felt that sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you know, our friends, they call us, they got, you know what I'm saying, you know, you got your friends out there, they got those names that they call you, but at the same time, they don't mean no harm. It's just y'all friends, you know what I'm saying, y'all buddies, y'all homies. So of course they're gonna be having those names, and they got, you know what I'm saying, the nicknames for you and your friends, but it's all love, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just, and that's what makes y'all friends, that's what makes y'all bros, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was just kind of cool. This is off the chain though. Back to you.
Alright. Dark Crystal. To be more specific though, beneath the Dark Crystal. This is like an understory after the movie. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, I thought it was gonna be like the movie because I saw the Dark Crystal, but I didn't read the top of it. Beneath the Dark Crystal, it's like a whole other world. It has fire and ice and different elements. And they keep, the only thing I got confused on was they kept going back and forth from what happened then to what happened now. But they do kind of give little indications if you look at the illustrations and so forth. Like, for example, you see this right here. You see all this orange and everything right here. And then it switches to, well, this is what's happening now. You know what? I could be wrong. You see, it confused me a little bit, but it's definitely worth getting into the story. It was just like that one comic that, I forget which one you had said. The Jetsons. It was the Jetsons. You only were able to find a couple. I was only able to find 1 and 2 of 12. So there is more to this story. It seems like definitely a story worth getting into. And it makes me want to go back to actually watching the movie because they do mention the 2 main characters in there. It's after because now they're no longer around. So what happens? So it's definitely, I highly recommend this one if you're a Dark Crystal fan, a Jim Henson's fan, you know. So that's
and there you have it. So we just caught up on the comics. We're able to go ahead and give you guys some reviews on the comics. Hope you guys give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and basically follow us because we're gonna be doing some more reviews on some comic books and later in the future. So we just had to catch up on some things that way you guys can go ahead and get you guys caught up on the comic books that we actually been reading. We love comic books, we love video games, and we love our music and everything else. So basically, just like I said, like, subscribe to the channel, follow us. You know what I'm saying? Famous Kid, Echo Rain, and we're about to be out, yo. Peace.